To be honest, I'm not familiar with upstate New York district. I live in Brooklyn, and all my life is downstate. And
come on down anytime.
Didn't come up.
Yeah.
Yes. And I had a question with my colleagues and arguing about the 8 judicial districts and whatever judicial district in every county, which I have an idea where it is, but I don't know exactly where it is. But how would that factor in my community of Asian community, where the population of New York State represented about nearly 12%, New York City gets 3/4 of it. How would judicial redistricting actually will balance out our community in upstate?
You're asking more or less, how does this potentially affect the Asian community in upstate New York?
That's correct. If it's so few judges, I don't know how many Asian judges are at 67 there
I can tell you that in the 4th department, which is the department that sort of are the districts that we're talking about, currently there are no judges that identify as Asian or Hispanic. What I will say is, just using my county as an example, I used some of these numbers before, but I'll give you the rest of them. It's that, you know, this district, the current 8 judicial districts, serves about 1.5 million people, and 61% of them reside just in the one county of Erie. And Erie County is the primary home for communities of color within the district, representing 90% of its Asian population of the entire judicial district are in one county. So it's staggering. It's 83% of the black population and 68% of the Hispanic population are all located in one county. That county being its own judicial district presumably means that there is a higher probability that a person of color could seek the office and potentially be elected. That's sort of the numbers of it, is what I'd say.
As you mentioned a little earlier, that this hasn't been redistricting for many decades from your research.
Correct.
So before you go, I mean, I don't mind change. Change could be good. But have you decided perhaps create a commission to make this study other than just this bill and make this drastic change without further study?
Yeah, I guess what I would say is the state constitution is clear that the responsibility for making these, I guess creating new lines is wholly on the legislature. And I would say that although there has been countless members of these legislative bodies that have come and gone in the last, what could have been 100+ years, they've never taken this up. And there's a reason why they've never taken it up. It's because some people don't want change. It's because there's some people that simply benefit from the nature of how these current districts are drawn. And I believe that over time, they have become less and less reflective of the communities found within them. So it's taking an act of this body to move under its constitutional duty to address it. I think waiting another year would be unwise, especially considering how stark the problem is in our judiciary.
Because it has definitely an unintended effect, because it will change the resources, manpower, real estate, everything when you start changing these district itself. I mean, and we have to budget for these costs as well.
Yeah, I would say, unlike other divisions of state government, OCA has a really broad set of abilities to determine and allocate resources to regions that they feel are needing of it. And that doesn't change here. You know, the budget of OCA is what I'm told to be near $3 billion. What we're talking about here in cost is potentially not creating new judgeships, not building new buildings. We're talking about, you know, the small incremental amounts that are absolutely nominal, not just in the face of the grandness of our state budget, but certainly even in the grandness of the OCA budget. So, you know, if we were having a conversation of creating a lot of new judgeships, I would agree. But that's not what we're doing here.
You know, we lost populations for a past decade, about more than 1 million, I believe. And that's just only that unintended effect, but the previous case, old cases maybe reside in one district and potentially have to relocate the other. I'm not sure you're able to grandfather those old cases that's still impending.
Yeah, I guess I would just say that the actual judges themselves aren't changing. Obviously, if they choose to retire or they're aged out, that would be different. But the judges and their cases that they currently have, they'll continue to have with minimal disruption, truthfully. And remember that OCA does have the ability today, with or without this bill, to allocate a judge in County X versus County Y today, and this doesn't change that. So I perceive the disruption to be very, very minimal.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Rivera. And on the bill, please.
On the bill.
Okay. I think we can kill several birds with one stone if we want to do this redistricting of judge during every 10 years, when we do redistricting our assembly. I think we should marry up the same time, because it's a process that, because we have a commission every 10 years to make this redistricting. We don't need to do this in between the 10 years. We can wait for a few more years. I mean, we waited for at least several decades or more, maybe 100 years. We could wait a few more years until we lined up during the redistricting year, and perhaps we can do this all in one big draw. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.